frustrated. And when I tell them the way I feel, it's like they hear me, but they're really not listening.
I'm very angry. I'm horribly angry.
There's no excitement. There's no passion.
The therapy of art. Now, I know we've heard like a lot of things from Britney Spears and stuff, and we all know about the issue she had. She had daddy issues with her musical career and how her music was being controlled in a kind of way. And I believe music has been therapy for her, but then again, when something that has become so close to you is trying to be controlled in a kind of way, you start to see that that thing that became so therapeutic has become toxic, because an external party is trying to control what is really dear to you. And I can relate in that standpoint, and in the sense of like creating art, right? So we're not here to talk about Britney Spears, we're actually here to talk about me. No, I'm joking. We're not here to talk about me, we're here to talk about people that are like me, like artistic minds alike, right?
Turns out we have a lot in common.
I have an Instagram page, go figure. I used to make arts of other people. Like I used to have this book of like Ben 10, and I used to draw his aliens in the book and stuff. Then I moved it onto Instagram, where I drew other people's characters. I drew Lion King and the guy from Game of Thrones, the ice guy and whatever. I can't remember a lot of characters. Phineas and Ferb and the rest. So obviously life happens to a lot of artists, and you tend to become trapped in a kind of box.
Bitch should never be trapped.
And you don't really have much people to talk to, because if you're like me, you're very, very introverted.
I love to be alone. I am like the best at it. I just love when you're sitting there in a room and you're just there with your thoughts and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm alone. Would anyone ever love me or whatever? And like, do I know anyone who would care if I just ever came out of this room or not or whatever? And like, I don't know, it's just peaceful. I just like it.
And you realize that people tell you that you have to talk about your problems and your feelings to make yourself feel better. So you need someone to be able to take what is trapped inside you and like give it out there, right? And
you know that you're not actually a therapist?
That was something that I was actually struggling with, and there came the issue of trying to get these feelings I have and transforming them into art, right? So I had the problem of trying to talk about how I feel, but in an artistic way. So I stopped sharing these arts that I used to do of others, and then I started trying to create my own stuff.
New year, new me!
And things that I could relate to, and things that were going on in my head that I felt like I needed to tell people, just to say, okay, this is how Levi feels, and this is what is going on in his head. Because I see that a lot of people are being told how to feel and what to feel, especially from the religious standpoint, which is something I can really relate to.
No one finer than young Cox back there. And he comes down here and spends hours in that thing. But he has a little attitude adjustment that we're going to fix. Brother Cox, you listening? Because Brother Cox, I can fix your attitude adjustment. And I don't care what your mama thinks and your daddy thinks. And I don't have a better friend than your mama. But mama, you get out of my way when I'm messing with that boy, because I'm his preacher. I'm yours when I'm talking to you, but I'm his when I'm talking to him. And last I checked, he's a grown man.
Most religions out there will tell you what to feel and how to feel. You're not really allowed to figure out how you feel on your own.
So I'm trying to figure it out.
And people that can relate to musical artistic standpoints will be able to express themselves in that kind of way. And I think that is something that has really, really helped me in a kind of way, and which is something I feel like I would love to talk about. It's really crazy on how this topic can be very sensitive and very emotional, but also productive. You see, in a very, very sensitive world where everyone gets offended by everything, and you just want to just scream your head out. You can't really talk about certain topics. You can't really talk about certain agendas and political cultures and interests. And you're always really careful to not also talk about certain identifications of people.
Levi, we don't want to know the gender of the baby. We don't want to know the sex, and you know that.
I don't know your gender. I don't know Candace's. I don't know mine.
You don't know my gender?
I don't.
Do I look like a woman?
I don't know what a woman looks like.
Things can get really trapped, and basically having the ability to express ourselves in a way that I know we can helps a lot. Like musicians trying to express themselves in musical ways, and artists trying to create things that will help people outside there to understand where they're coming from and how they see things. And I just think it's very beautiful to be able to do things like this, and it's very therapeutic in a kind of way, because then again, I'm no writer, but I have a lot of friends that are writers, and it's also the same for them, whereby they feel down, they feel sad, and then they feel like they need to put what they feel into words. And that also helps me, because I have issues sometimes trying to put how I feel into words, and so some writer friends can be able to put what I feel into words, and then I can then transform that into this artistic environment and put those words in facial emotions and positions and colors, and it becomes this array of words that I just couldn't put together, because I am not much of a talker, and I know some people that can relate to this introverted life aren't much talkers either, but there are a lot of things that go on in our head that we just cannot say all at once, and so we tend to say those things in a different kind of way. And I feel that art is the best form to express yourself. Now, whatever kind of art you might find yourself involved, be it like digital art, physical art, musical art, it's something that can help a lot of people cope and grow in confidence and become better versions of themselves, because they don't have all those things bottled in. They kind of like have a way to express themselves without being held to ransom and being judged constantly. Yeah, I think the therapy of art is it's something that has helped me and a lot of people that I know, and it's something that I find very incredible and perfect.